Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The TRO is extended again on the release of IPI's tax information. Also tonight, congressional staff from the mainland are here in Saipan to hear concerns. And we welcome new citizens to the United States of America. In sports, a youthful soccer squad packs its bags for a festival in South Korea. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Looking for a truck that's reliable, durable, and a great value? Then drive Tacoma. Tacoma is Saipan's most popular truck. Look around. Everyone drives Tacoma. That's because 9 out of 10 Tacoma trucks sold over the last 10 years are still on the road. If you drive a truck for work or play, you need Tacoma. Good looks, rugged styling with the latest technology, and power when you need it. After all, Saipan is Tacoma territory.
Hafa Day, Tirwami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Thursday, August 1st, 2019. The temporary restraining order on Imperial Pacific International's tax information has been extended yet again. The preliminary injunction was continued in district court today, where final arguments were also made in the case Imperial Pacific International versus Commonwealth Casino Commission. IPI is trying to keep certain parts of their tax information confidential, while CCC is asking to release all of IPI's tax information, as stated in Public Law 19-24. Today in court, both sides presented their closing arguments to Chief Judge Ramona Manglona. IPI gave points stating, quote, "The irreparable harm IPI will suffer if relief is not granted," end quote, meaning if the injunction is denied. And CCC asked the question, quote, "What has changed?" stating that IPI has been giving monthly reports since the beginning, and IPI has never filed a lawsuit before, so why now? The Assistant Attorney General representing CCC, Benjamin Petersburg, stated, quote, "This is a naked attempt to hide bad news and keep it out of the public view," end quote. The TRO for the release of IPI's tax information has been extended until August 8th at 11:59 p.m. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. Congressional staff from the Office of Insular Affairs are on island, and one of their stops today was up on Capitol Hill. Brian Modeste, Majority Staff Director, along with other delegates from the Committee on Natural Resources Office of Insular Affairs, spoke with representatives from the Sinai legislators today on disaster recovery and other issues at hand. The representatives were able to point out topics that are of concern in the Sinai. Senator Sixto Igisomar says one major point brought up and discussed with the congressional staff is labor.
I believe that the most common comments that were coming out is on the labor issues, to find solutions for the labor force, especially for the construction workers, the labor that we need to help support the build up for the people's homes that are here and they're lacking skilled workers. So those were the main issues that everybody was talking about.
Did they have any comments on that, or how they felt after viewing our island so far?
Well, they said that they're excited and happy that they're actually here to see and witness what the island is like. Well, one of the guy who is actually leading it is from the Virgin Islands, so he's fully aware of an island economy and what challenges we're facing and opportunities.
And Representative Tina Sablan says there are a few topics that she pointed out to congressional staff. Major ones include:
well, there were a lot of concerns expressed about the labor shortage, which has been hampering the pace of disaster recovery here in the Marianas, and they recognize that. They do have meetings scheduled with FEMA. They've also met with the governor's office to gain greater insight about these challenges, and these are all issues that they said they would bring back to their bosses, which of course we appreciate. We also understand that there is going to be a congressionally directed GAO review of the federal government's and the CNMI government's handling of disaster recovery monies for the Marianas. So I asked for an update about that, and the answer that I got was that they're looking at the review being completed sometime next spring, but that there will likely be a hearing even before that, before the work is completed, just to get some updates about that as well.
Representative Sablan says she also asked about immigration reform, as it is important to many of the workers here in the CNMI.
There was some discussion about the bill that was recently signed into law, Congressman Kilili Sablan's bill that afforded residency, CNMI residency for a certain group of people with humanitarian parole status. So I asked about the prospects for more comprehensive reform that would give residency to a larger group of people, contract workers who've been here for decades, who were not included in that bill. And the staffers acknowledged that was an unmet need, that they recognize that there is this larger group of people that have not been granted the immigration relief that they need. And so they said that there was recognition in Congress that we need to move forward with national immigration reform, and when that legislation happens, that the CNMI will be included in that legislation, and that the CNMI's part of the bill, of any such bill that would come out of Congress, is actually the least controversial, because we're talking about people who have been here legally, who entered legally, and really just want to be able to stay lawfully with their families in the island that they call home.
All the points today will be brought back to the U.S. Congress for discussions. Igis Omar says the general message conveyed today at the meeting is that we are different from the U.S. mainland because of our location.
I gave them the overall challenges and opportunities affecting our CNMI. And I said that, well, it's kind of hard for me to tell you what exactly you need to know, or right, because you're staffers, you write policies for these congressmen. And so I gave them a full story of challenges and opportunities that's facing our CNMI, being an island economy and trying to be a nation, a U.S. citizen, an American, and to give us these opportunities that we're not similar to all the other states where they can cross state borders and they're fine. But here, we're so isolated, so whatever policy they try to make, to please consider and understand our situation, that you cannot just specifically using U.S. laws and say that you must follow this when we are geographically totally different from the United States of America. So that was my story to them, to please understand our challenges. Our poverty level is so high, our uninsured rate is so high at 33.3%. So all these things to understand that when you make policies, remember that it's not easy to just enforce the policy here.
Some residents are starting off the new month with a new citizenship, as today marks another naturalization ceremony here in the Marianas. Chief Judge Ramona Manglona sworn in 15 new U.S. citizens this morning. CNMI delegate to the U.S. Congress was in attendance at the ceremony and tells us the importance of ceremonies like this.
Many of them waited for years. I was just talking to a few of them. One has been here for 33 years. And, the one thing that is HR 560 that I'm working on, I can get it out of the House, no question, but I need to get it on the Senate schedule as well. But for many people here, I was able to play a video of President Reagan's farewell speech, his last speech at the White House, and among all the topics that he could have talked about, national security, the deficit, public debt, he chose to speak about immigration and that the value it puts into British nation we call America, and of how, what the Statue of Liberty stands for. And how America becomes great and remains great is because of immigrants.
And according to some of these new citizens, nothing is greater than the American dream.
It's a great feeling to finally have gone through all the process. So now it's good to be a citizen.
I'm grateful that I'm a U.S. citizen.
I feel great. Yeah. I like it. At last, I fulfill my call it dream.
Well, thank you, America, for accepting us. I hope we will be able to contribute in our own little way. I'm a Filipino citizen. This is my second citizenship. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, citizenship.
Oh, yeah, I see, yeah.
I still have one.
Oh, yeah, you have the Philippines, you're right.
No, I'm a senior citizen also, so I have three.
Yeah,
okay. Yes.
How does it feel?
Very happy, very fulfilling, American dreams. And as a pastor, as a priest, this is my life now, to work, to spread the gospel in the United States in my own little way, especially here in the CNMI.
Coming up, we hear about a city that is named one of the top in the world. Find out where after the break.
Get your daily serving of 4G LTE data with IT&E's daily prepaid plans. Choose from the best priced plans in the Marianas. Get 1 gigabyte of data for $2.50 a day, or choose a $1.50 or $2 plan. Need more data? Top up. Get 100 megabytes for $1 or 1 gigabyte for $10. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. And ask about our prepaid loyalty plan. IT&E. Explore your world.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded, or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Tonight we head to Mexico, where our Chris Nelson files a report on a city that has recently been named one of the top cities in the world by Travel and Leisure magazine.
Each summer, the Nelsons do a family trip together. Last year, we met in California and headed south down to Los Cabos at the very bottom of the Baja Peninsula. Los Cabos hosts some of the top golf courses in North America. This is Quivira, which is on the Pacific side and is always super windy. It's very challenging with lots of holes right on the ocean, not much room for error. Vacation houses are popular here. You get a big house that lets families stay together a stone's throw away from the ocean. This year the plan was still to golf in Mexico, but in a place nobody had ever been. We chose San Miguel de Allende. It's about 6,000 feet above sea level, located in Mexico's Central Highlands. It's known primarily for its Baroque Spanish architecture and thriving arts and culture. We stay here just outside of town. The casitas are set around a nice swimming pool, perfect for cooling off, and town is nearby, and in the center of it is a pedestrian area. San Miguel's most famous site is its parish church, characterized by its pink wedding cake towers that soar above the town. These were designed by an indigenous mason in the late 19th century. Around the town square are juices and fruits, a man with many hats, a small park where you can read or get your shoes shined. Golf at Ventanas is top-notch. This course was designed by Nick Faldo. Aim for the church, says our caddy. The course features Kentucky bluegrass on the fairways and bent grass on the greens. It's very quiet here and features great views of the city. Its complicated elevations, especially on the greens, make it very challenging. Nearby, another golf course, Malinquin, is a bit older and even more challenging. After golf, we head to Antonia Bistro for some rooftop dining. The views up here are pretty incredible, and the food quality was a perfect match. It takes you a while to eat because you want to take lots of pictures.
I have to, don't eat it. I want to take a picture of it.
On the street, these are called mohigangas, giants, and they are typically found at celebrations like weddings. They trace their roots to the Spanish back in the 1600s, and you can see them all around the city. Mexico, summer 2019. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
On Guam, more allegations on child clergy sexual abuse are made. And the former governor is still getting the perks of free travel. KUAM's Adriana Cotero tells us more.
Half a day CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. The allegations of child clergy sexual abuse continue to pile up. The latest complaint was filed in the district court by an individual identified only as NNN to protect her privacy. The victim lives in California now but attended CCD classes at Santa Barbara Catholic Church in Dededo when she was a minor. According to court documents, around 1994 to 1995, she was on an overnight weekend retreat at Notre Dame High School when Father Raymond Cepeda sexually molested her. When she reported it at the time to Monsignor Zuelo Camacho, he told her to pray. According to court documents, she later fell into a long period of depression and lost faith in the Catholic Church. NNN is represented by Lujan and Wolf law firm. She is demanding a trial by jury and up to $5 million in damages. He might not be the governor of Guam anymore, but he still gets the perks, like flying first class on the public dime. We're talking about former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez. Chris Barnett has the story.
An internal memo obtained by KUAM News by way of Freedom of Information Act shows how Magahaga Leon Guerrero has authorized first-class seats for every trip former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez takes. All official travel by former Governor Gutierrez may be booked at the business rate. Leon Guerrero wrote in an internal memo to Guam Economic Development Authority Director Melanie Mendiola. That memo dated April 23, 2019. This memorandum is to grant an explicit travel rate designation for Carl T.C. Gutierrez, the governor wrote. In the memo, the Magahaga cited her authority under Section 3.511 of the Department of Administration's travel policy. That section of the travel policy states all individuals traveling abroad for recruitment, conferences, seminars shall resort to the economy rate with the exception of the governor and lieutenant governor and those whose requests are given explicit approval by the governor. Janela Carrera, spokeswoman for the governor, said Gutierrez is the only employee in the administration Governor Leon Guerrero has granted a first-class travel exception for. The governor's memo to Mendiola triggered authorization for Gutierrez to fly business class to the National Governors Association's U.S.-China Governors Summit in Lexington, Kentucky. I am requesting payment to United Airlines in the amount of $3,673 for the business class upgrade of Carl Gutierrez's airfare. Please see memo attached for travel rate designation allowed for Carl Gutierrez. That's what GITA Director Mel Mendiola wrote to her staff in a May 20 inter-office memo, also obtained by KUAM through FOIA request. Gutierrez is the governor's chief advisor on economic, national, and international affairs. He has his own office in Agana and a staff of at least 2 employees detailed from GITA. He's taken trips to Las Vegas, Kentucky, China, and the Philippines this year. One of those trips to the Philippines was paid for out of pocket by the former governor. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Chris adds that the administration sent the following comment. Pursuant to the governor's authority in the Department of Administration's travel and transportation policy, the governor granted an exception to former Governor Gutierrez as a courtesy for his tenure in service as a former governor who continues to serve Guam in an official capacity in the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. Stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest, on KUAM.com. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Thank you, Adriana. Good to see you again. All right, coming up in the sports report, midweek basketball. We haven't had that in a while.
Bubblegum Shrimp Company opens daily at 11 a.m. Located on Beach Road in the heart of Garapan.
You can get $250 for your old sofa set right now. It doesn't matter if it stinks, or if it's stained, or if it's out of style. You can get $250 trade-in credit for your old sofa set. Get a new sofa set right now with no stink, no stains, and lots of style. Come see us today at Dial Rent-To-Own.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, Saipan may be a remote island, but that does not slow down NMI soccer. 6 off-island trips are in the offing for national youth teams starting this weekend with the U15 girls. 17 girls will don the NMI national uniforms for an East Asia Football Federation festival next week. Nathanette Bloss has the specifics for their 3-game series.
We're going to South Korea and we're playing against Guam, Hong Kong, and Mongolia.
NMIFA General Secretary Ross Apanta says the bus ride from the airport to the festival in Mokpo will be as long as the flight from Saipan to Incheon.
The EAFF have made arrangement for their bus ride to Mokpo. It will take about 4 hours.
Nathanette is one of the so-called veterans on this squad.
Most of our players are new, but I've had some experience last year in September. I traveled to Tajikistan.
What do you think about the girls winning 2 Marianas Cups in a row against Guam? Now, does that make the expectations for you greater and higher now because the girls beat Guam at the higher level? Now, U15, is that pressure on you?
Sort of, yeah, but we're younger, so.
NMIFA President Jerry Tan extremely proud of the NMI girls after back-to-back victories in the Marianas Cup.
Keep in mind, Guam actually was ranked FIFA 72, ranking 72 at one time. When Pacific Game was called South Pacific Game, SPG, back then, they came in as a silver medalist. So Guam has a very solid women's program for many, many years. So we're very, very proud that we have caught up, and I can't guarantee we're going to beat Guam every game, every time, but at least it's clear that we are definitely competitive, and we have beat them 2 years in a row. And in soccer, as you know, 3-0 is a very convincing win. So we are definitely very happy and proud of our girls.
Last year in the Boys Marianas Cup against Guam, Jonathan Capaya scored the first NMI goal. 6 years ago, he recruited his sister Julianne to the sport, and now she too's on the national team.
First it was my brother who joined, and then my dad wanted us to get outside more, so he made us join soccer, and then I started liking it and loving it.
Julianne Hall has been playing soccer for 2/3 of her life.
I've been playing soccer for about 10 years, ever since U6 grassroots. I got involved because my brother was really interested in soccer, so that just made my mom want me to do something else.
Tomorrow night, be sure to tune in. We're going to have a story on how that soccer program has been able to progress to where it is now. Well, power has been restored to the Coblerville Arena, finally. That is allowing the custodians of that concrete haven of hoops to expand games to weeknights. The Pacific Amusement Rollers Summer Youth League rolls on. Man, things just keep getting better all the time. Coblerville Gym, the perfect place for a manicure. It takes the U16 Sonics Raven Francisco only 2 seconds to score against the Chinatown Titans, who also made their first shot of this game, courtesy of Christopher Laquin. Raven with the steal, the dribble drive, the no-look pass. Oh, he should have looked. The Titans with the cross-court pass to June-Mark Escalada. Looks good because it was. B3, bingo! For Brandon Sapipi. The football pass to Mr. Galong. Touchdown worth 2 points. Hey, where's the D? Loose ball. Who wants it the most? Brian Bernardo picks it up and lays it down. Christopher, the shovel pass to Christian Elo. That works. But the Titans cannot stop the Sonics inside. Sonics clipped the Titans 44-26. Yeah, they clipped them good.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Let's roll at Gold's Gym Saipan with group exercise for every body. Total Resistant Exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Today, 90 degrees. The heat index here in our parking lot, 110. That's the highest of the year. Low 80, humidity 77%. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Well, a mix of sun and rain. South winds 10 miles an hour. High around 89, low 79. Seas are calm out there, 2 to 4 feet. Sunrise 1 minute before 6. High tide at 7:28 in the morning. A low tide at 2:28 in the afternoon. And sunset at 6:46.
You know, well, something I really enjoy is that we have a pretty consistent temperature.
We have the most consistent weather, most equitable, they call it in the Guinness Book of World Records. We have the smallest range. I mean, every day it's like 90, 80 to 90. It's like we have a 10-degree jump, and we're like the only place that I've ever seen where it can go all day and only change degrees like 1 or 2 degrees.
Yeah.
That's
I actually really enjoy that. I like the consistency.
It could be 80 degrees for like 8 hours.
I basically always know kind of how to dress. What is that?
Looks
and just
good.
like this, right?
Looks good.
Yeah, right?
I always wear this.
Yeah. Seems like we both got that down. Okay. All right, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Tune in tomorrow night at 6.
Good night.